Hello, welcome to Thursday night's Land Tamer stream. The week is just flying by, folks. I don't even know where it's going, but we're trying to get in study as we can, as much study as we can, I should say. And it's been going well. I've had some really interesting little tidbits today that I've looked at, both on the job, not directly related to CCIE, but learning about some HTML stuff, cookies, and digging into some F5 things, cloud things. I actually have a change tonight, so I've got to keep this stream brief. I have a scheduled change approved by a change control board, so I'll be leading that tonight and working on it. So, yeah, going to keep it brief. But, some good things going on. A lot going on in the community. Day 304, here we are. We're going to talk some multicast, PIM, sparse mode, some wildcard mask tricks, and of course we got the written exam coming up now in 31 days. Probably going to be rescheduled for December with Duke for M near the time. Probably going to be taking that close together in terms of time frame. So I'll let you know on that probably this weekend. Hey, Duke for M, good to see you, my friend. We've had some good interactions today, and that's what I'm starting out with, talking about that. By the way, this is still the same shot from the landing, the ground landing of the SpaceX Block 5 Stage 1 in California. But yeah, we've been teaming up again today. It's been going well. I did not get my first answer correct. And I have to say, it was a good challenge that was posed to me in terms of, and it's always the same one, right? It's how do you need to redistribute some networks, but in the third octet, or the second octet, I've seen it, you want to block all networks that are an odd number. And I answered kind of quickly. I didn't really think it out too much. I've labbed this before, though. I think twice, actually. And really, the key is to remember that when you're talking about redistribution, of course, that means you need a route map. In the case, for example, of RIP, you want to distribute list and the name of the route map out. What I forgot to mention is the interface, because you could have multiple interfaces, right? So you want to filter a list of routes going out, interface GI00, for example. So you have your route map, RMAP, permit, or actually in this case, you're going to want to deny. And you need an access list. Access list, let's see, how did this go again? I'm really out of practice on my routing stuff, folks, since I've been studying for the written. I haven't labbed route maps and distribute list in a while. Yeah, so you do need your deny. So it's access 10 deny, and then you have let's see, 0.0.0.0. Let me see if I get this right this time. 255.255.4.255. So this is your wildcard mask, and what this is saying is we're going to basically ignore all the bits for our deny statement, except, as we can see for this wildcard mask, this is going to tell us that our 8th bit, we are not going to, actually want to say this would be 1, right? Deny 0010.255.254.255. Yeah, I think that's it. So you're going to deny anything in the third octet, because remember, the other ones we're just basically ignoring all 8 bits. But in the third octet, 00, yeah, I guess that's true if, for example, so this is wildcard mask, correct? So yeah, it would be 210. You would do 0. Remember, 0 is to match. This is which bits to match. So in your case, I think you had 210 dot something, like /16. I can't do 0 zeros here, right? If I want to just, so if you're saying, if I use this wildcard mask, the 0 means deny to match all the bits in the first octet. So if I just want to deny 210, 10, and all the odd numbers in the third octet, then I would need 0, 0. That is correct. But if I just want, I think it was interesting, like in the INE lab, they had like 17s, they had, 128s. They just wanted you to deny all the odd numbered networks in the third octet. In that case, you would do this, right? Yeah, it is a trick question, but it is good to know. It is good to know yeah, okay, I'm looking at your example now. I just pulled it up. I think in your lab, you were supposed to do 210.1. You only wanted to redistribute these networks. So we want to match these. And only the odd numbered networks in the third octet. So the wildcard mask is saying we are going to only look at bit number 8. And of course, think about it. If you have a number so this is 0, which of course that would be a network address, most likely. But this would be, the third octet would be 1. This would be 2, 3, 4, right? So anytime, this is kind of, just a math thing here, but it just so happens anytime this bit, and whenever we're working with binary, anytime this bit is set to a 1, it is going to be an odd number, right? Let's see, it's a trick question on IMO. There is only one odd number, so 254 makes it happen. All odd numbers will match. That's right. So yeah, this is like the network. This would be for the host bits. So this is not the wildcard mask. This is like the host bits. But if we use a wildcard mask against this, right? So this is, now we're talking about the wildcard mask. Let's say this is the network or host bits, and then this is the wildcard mask. Actually, let's say, because access list, you're working with wildcard mask, right? Wildcard masks. 128, 192, 224, 240, 248, 2. Wait, did I get 128, 2, 240, 248, 254? And here, 1 indicates which bits to ignore. So in this case, 254, we're going to ignore all of these bits, and we're only going to match against the 8th bit, right? So as we can see, if your network or your host bit is odd, it's going to hit every time, right? Yeah, good stuff, dude, for him. That was a great question. I really appreciate it. And obviously, I needed to review it again because my answer was pretty much the same setup. It said I had an access list extended, which really could have been a standard access list, right? But I essentially had an access list 10 permit 0.0.0.0 255. What did I say here? 254.255. But the problem is when you do a permit, that means it's only going to allow basically 0. And it's not going to allow 2. It's not going to allow 4. It's not going to allow 8, right? So you would only get the 0 network allowed in that case. You really need the deny and then the access list 10 permit any. And then you would have up here, oh, did I delete it? No, route map, deny 10, match, access list 10. Nope, this is, hold on a second. We have, with our route map, we have a deny. And then a deny access list. So we need to do a permit here, don't we? So we're going to permit any as long as they don't match this. I believe that's how that works. Let's move this up here. Okay. Oh, distribute list. Distribute list. So I guess we don't really need the route map with a distribute list, do we? Let's see. Man, I really need a lot more practice on this stuff. I've been away for too long. Here we go, Cisco iOS 15.6. That's the thing, I've been, hey, mentors. Looks like some good bits tonight, man. That's all we got up here is good bits. Good to see you, man. No problem. We won't dock your pay tonight, mentors. We won't dock you tonight. So let's say protocol independent. No, I guess we could go to RIP. Let's see, IPv6 routing, cool. RIP for IPv6. Where do we find use of distribute list? Maybe it is in protocol independent. Or let's try EIGRP. It's going to be similar. Route map filtering over the top. Let's just go into EIGRP. All right, we'll go to the command reference then. What are the options for distribute list? Let's just go to master index. Man, I feel really rusty, folks. Like on routing fundamentals, I feel very rusty. I've been studying for so long. I've been studying evolving technologies, IPv6. I've been doing some BGP. I will say that I have been doing a little bit of BGP, but not much. What do we got here, Mentor? Cisco Press article. I'm trying to find it in the official docs. I'm going to check that link though here in a second. What is IPX? I think I want IRI. Yeah, protocol independent. Well, they didn't have a config guide, but so what can we use in a distribute list? We can use an access list number, an access list name, static connected. Okay, appreciate that, mentors. For some reason, I thought there was another option here. Prefix list, okay, yep. You can do a route map, all right. Now this is for, to express that would be advertising updates, use distribute list out command. Okay, maybe you can't. Oh shoot, I thought for sure there was a distribute list out. What is this down here? Okay, yeah, still distribute list. Okay, isn't that something? So this is where I got confused. So with the distribute list in command, you can use a route map, but not on distribute list out, apparently. Now granted, I wrote it up this way. This is definitely not the best way, because it's like extra processing that you don't need when all you need to do is this, right? But it was just in my mind, like, can I do that? That's what I wanted to see. Am I allowed to do that? And it looks like you're not allowed to do that for outbound filter lists, because distribute lists. I do specifically remember INE Labs. They had in the INE workbook, Advanced Technologies workbook for CCI routing and switching, they had a distribute list. They had 3 distribute list labs. They had using a standard access list, they had one using an extended access list, and they had one using a route map. But that had to be inbound. Could not have been outbound. Good stuff, dude, for him. This has helped me a lot. These are some basics that I've gotten away from. This is really the tricky part, though. It's the wildcard mask. So just be aware of that. Good stuff, folks. So that's what I worked on today before work started. Dude for him already had me working on this whole problem. Prefix list, so get ready. Yes. Awesome. Yeah, the prefix list too. So you have with your route map, of course, there's a lot of things you can do with it. That's like a programmatic function, right? With the route map. with using variables and matching variables, etc. But yeah, you've got for distribute list in, it seems standard, extended access lists, prefix lists, and route map. So good, that's great stuff. And I quizzed him on some 802.15.4, which is, some of you may or may not know, it has to do with low power networks, and Zigbee wireless, which is part of, frequently associated with Internet of Things, right? With IoT devices. Many of them use 802.15.4 framework, and of course that tends to map. Oftentimes the way that works is you got your 802.15.4 is more your physical layer, layer 2, and then your Zigbee protocol suite is really a suite of protocols, but that is generally used to handle your 3 and up layers. So yeah, and there are several schemes that are used. We think oftentimes with Ethernet and traditional wireless networking, 802.11s, right? We think of star topologies, we think of hub and spoke and things like that. But when you get into these IoT networking schemes, some of the patterns are similar, but they have to be creative with the fact that you have oftentimes very low. There's a lot of security concerns. There are a lot of concerns about bandwidth and latency, and especially when you start adding a lot of IoT devices, like in a factory or something like that, where you've got IoT running on packages, for example, in a big warehouse, and you've got units scattered everywhere. you have to be creative and kind of take a new approach. So it's pretty interesting stuff. I did some studies of this back about 2 months ago. Post written exam fail, I got last written exam fail. That was one thing exposed that I really needed to beef up my knowledge of IoT and those protocols. So anyway, good exchange and you all have seen me talk about it on this stream. But yeah, let's get into these special, PIM sparse mode is tonight. I'm going to lab on that. Or tomorrow, because tonight I have a change, like I said, coming up here pretty soon. But let's go right into the trivia. Let's talk about these special VLANs. So can you name the function of VLANs 1001 through 1004? Think of them in your head right now. And we'll just go down the line. I'm pausing for emphasis here, just kind of give people a second to see. I think I know them. I could be wrong. But let's see if we know these special VLANs, which, by the way, you cannot delete these VLANs, right? So, and only on when you start talking about VTP and things like that, there are restrictions in terms of VLANs, the VLAN numbers, because generally, like 1 through 1004 are considered the standard VLAN range, but the actual RFC standard supports up to 41 through 4094, I believe, or is it 4095? I think it might be 4094. But VTP, only until you get to VTP version 3 can you support a database that includes the extended VLANs, right? So it's good to know these VLAN numbers, I think. So let's say 1 through 1004 is considered these. Is this classic standard? I forget what this is called. And then 1005 through 4094, extended VLAN range. Now, even if you use VTP version 2, VTP version 2 will only sync the standard range of VLANs. Doesn't mean you can't use extended VLAN range on your switches. You'll just be creating them manually and syncing them manually. Mentors, I'll be heading out tomorrow, fam. Head up north to the Panhandle to volunteer and help fam with cleanup and assist in helping wifey's cousin's community after this tragic hurricane. Mentors, I wish you the best, man. And we appreciate, everybody appreciates that, I know. I'm glad they're all doing well. I know that there might be some, economic loss and hardship. But the good thing is, hopefully, everyone is healthy. There was some loss of life, and my heart goes out to all those. I've vacationed many times Panama City. My mother lives in the Panhandle, but she still has power. She's inland a ways, so she's fine, which is fortunate. But yeah, my heart goes out, and good for you, mentors, to give those folks some support. And that is of course much appreciated. And I saw some photos both nights, last night and tonight. I've watched the news, the nightly news, and seen some of the devastation, and that's tough. So appreciate that, mentors. That's the spirit, my friend. Yes, thank you. She is safe. I've been checking on her, and she's got some little pups, and she's got a roommate and a housemate, and everybody's good. So that's good. They got what they need. Otherwise, I might be heading up there with you, but she's all right. I actually have to help some family. It's not hurricane related, but I have to get ready for that. My streaming, by the way, next week may be limited, folks, because I won't be in the Land Tamer studio. I won't have access to this room per se, and I'll be busy taking care of some family responsibilities starting like Sunday. So yeah, but I'm going to try to at least stream a little bit each night, even if I can't do my normal length streams. Yeah, getting these VLANs, so I'm going to check on this in a second, but so somebody, Dude for Him did 1003 is TR. Okay, TR, which is short for, is an abbreviation for, we'll go ahead and say that yes, that is correct. But remember, there are two special VLANs related to TR, or token ring. This one is also, this is actually net default, I believe. Yes, token ring, that's right. So this is token ring default. This is trnet-default. What is the other one? Does anybody remember? Starts with an F. I'll give a few seconds because I know the chat is a little bit delayed. Starts with an F, and the next letter is a D. That's probably going to get it. Yes, FDDI, as we used to say. Yes, fddi. Does anyone know what FDDI is? Have you had to work on fddi? I think this is fddi-net-default. Yeah, so you got token ring default, fddi-default, trnet-default, and fddi-net-default. I actually, at I think my second job, maybe my first, I was a young whippersnapper. We had fddi. Hey, back in the day, that's right. So let's see if we can find a photo. This would be really cool. I should ask David Bomble. By the way, folks, David Bomble, if you're not on Instagram, there's actually a lot of good stuff going on Instagram. You know, Instagram is like the new Facebook. It is for me anyway. I rarely get on Facebook anymore for my personal use. But I have, yes, fiber distributed data interface. That's right, Dubram. Good job. I actually remember working on Token Ring, folks. I remember a network being down, a remote office, and their LAN was Token Ring. So you had to go around and find, like, who was the, if one link in the ring was down, everybody beyond that part of the network was down. Yeah, interesting technology. But yeah, I remember working on that. But David Bauble has been very active on Instagram, posting a lot of cool like gear, even some of the older gear, cabling, transceivers. So if you're not on Instagram, or you think, oh, Instagram's just another social network I don't really care about. Well, there's a lot of good networking stuff going on there that is not really shared in other social networks. So you're probably missing out. Yeah, so you had these. Here's a fddi board here on Wikipedia. Yeah, I remember. Honestly, folks, I remember it was. I think it was my second networking job where there was fiber to the desktop, and it was fddi cards like that. Yeah, and I think it was so much faster than Ethernet at the time. It was 300 megabits per second versus 100 megabits per second. And I remember a couple years later them ripping all that fiber out. Because, sooner or later PCs, they just started shipping them with Ethernet built in, copper Ethernet on the board. So for you to buy a $1,500 computer back then, and then to have to go buy another $250 FDDI network card, it just became ridiculous. Somebody made a lot of money off of that place. Oh god, yeah, that's the thing I remember. One card starts broadcasting like crazy, and then you have to play Hunt the Wumpus to find it. Yes. Yeah. So anyway, this is still part of modern day switches. You still need to know what it is. You still need to know. And let's just verify the extended range VLANs. Oh, I got the number wrong, I think. Okay, normal range. What did I call it? Standard range. This is normal range. And the extended range. Okay, so hold on a second here. $1,005. Oh, I got these wrong, folks. I am totally misleading you here. I think those are the special VLANs. All right, let me check my source here. This is what I always get wrong too. So I'm going to go to my drill sheet. And I've totally misled you guys. All right, let's double check now. Okay, here's a chart. Two, three, four, five. Yes. Oh man, sorry folks. Okay, we'll get this straight in a second. So 1 through 2094, or 1 through 1000. Yeah, 1006 to 4094 are the extended VLAN range. The normal range this is see if it has it here. Yeah, 1002, 3, 4, and 5. Let's see, Cisco special VLANs. Let's do, what's it called? trnet. Ethereal Mind. TRCRF default. How old is this? 2011? Here we go. This is what I need right here. I need to correct my drill sheet, it looks like. Oh shoot, I just closed Chrome. That was not smart. Bear with me, folks. We'll get the chat back up here. Sorry about that. I did not mean to close, I just meant to close the window. So let's open that back up, sorry. Cisco says VLAN 0, 1, and 49. Yes, 0 is reserved as well. Okay, back to this. Sorry, man, I closed that window. That was... I messed that up. All right. So 1002 is fddi-default. Yeah, I had those reversed. 1003 is token ring default. 1004 fddinet-default. Yeah, I've got these just reversed here. There we go. So normal range is 1 through 1001. Do they include... I guess technically is the normal range considered 1 through 1005? Let's see. Cisco special normal. It is, apparently. I think I'm going to go with this, 1 through 1005, with these being reserved. And then 1006 through 4094 is the extended VLAN range. Can be used with VTP3. Can be managed. Okay, I think we got that sorted out. And we could say reserved is well, VLAN 1 you could still use for the data plane. Okay. fddinet-default, token ring default, fddinet-default, fddi-default, token ring default, fddinet-default, trnet-default. That's what we have to remember. Good stuff, folks. I'm glad we reviewed that. Got that in our heads. Especially I tell you, before the last written exam, I could recite this from memory. Yeah, good point. Moranternet. I think I'm saying that right. Moranternet. Yeah. One, you really should not use. Very good point. It is kind of reserved, but you cannot turn it off. Excellent. Good stuff, guys. VLANs are important, right? We still have to deal with them. They can seem trivial, but Cisco is going to ask you about the particulars, especially at the expert level. So good stuff to know, good stuff to focus on. And these are a lot of I tell you what, folks, I really need to work on this drill sheet, and I need to correct this, actually. Let me do that now. (1002), 1003, 1004, 1005. Yeah, and this is in the correct order. Okay, good. This is up on the GitHub by the folks, by the way. It is not meant to be authoritative. It's just meant to be as sort of a memory drill study aid, and I hope everything's right. Anyway, that's what we got for tonight, folks. I gotta get started, ready for my change coming up. I will link Tony, aka Show IP Interface Brief. He did a great video last night. I watched it this morning where he's doing a routing redistribution lab, and there's actually an issue he's having. I proposed, I watched the end of it. I thought he had fixed it or found really the cause, but he's still seeing behavior that he's not expecting. So if you want to take it on and check it out, definitely check out this video. And the first part is about AAA, but if you want to skip ahead, you go to that video, work on it yourself. And in the Discord, we can see who has figured it out. So that's my only meat chunk of the day. Hey, it was great going over these details, folks. Network bits, wildcard mask, access list, distribute list. I mean, we covered a good bit of the gamut. We talked about IoT. We talked about, what have we not talked about? Anyway, tomorrow is my evening off, and then Saturday I will be streaming again, and we'll see how far we get with PIM sparse mode, and hopefully we get PIM dense sparse mode as well. And thanks so much for tuning in, folks. Hope you're having a great Thursday night. Tomorrow's Friday. It's Friday Eve, so let's get some more study done, what we can. Appreciate everybody stopping in the chats and sending everybody here good bits. Follow me here on Twitch if you've not already. If you got a Amazon Prime sub with the Twitch Prime sub sitting around you haven't used, feel free to use it here. You can also follow me on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and of course Discord. That's where all the action is. That's where this community, we help each other out, we quiz each other, we help each other with our labs, we work through problems, we talk about our problems. So that's where a lot of the community action is at for me and for myself and other streamers as well. Thanks for stopping by, folks. We shall see you back here Saturday in the LAN Tamer stream. Have a good night.